If you're incorporating a company with somebody so that there are more than 2 shareholders in your company, then we always recommend that you have a shareholders agreement. It's sort of similar to a marriage contract. Initially, when 2 people are getting married, they're pretty happy with one another, they're thinking about the future, and they're thinking that things are going to go really smoothly and they'll live happily ever after. Well, so goes it with shareholders. Typically, they're really excited about starting a business, wanting to get started, and not really thinking about the downside of the terrible things that might happen down the road if they hate each other, or someone dies, or someone becomes disabled, and all of those sorts of scenarios. Shareholders agreements walk you through those what-ifs, and so that you have a legally binding agreement down the road in the event that things don't go quite as planned. So for instance, shareholders agreements might deal with the death of a shareholder and having insurance in place in the company to fund a buyout, so that in the end, shareholders and directors of companies are only dealing with who they set out to deal with in business, but the estate of the person who's deceased is taken care of in terms of getting the fair market value of the shares up to the date of their death, so that they are given the value of the company that's been grown up to that point by that person. Shareholders agreements can also talk about disputes between shareholders. It's not common, but it certainly does happen, where 2 shareholders who started out in business are sort of feeling like they need a divorce. The nice thing about a shareholders agreement is it sets out, while everyone's thinking fair-mindedly and not really thinking anything will ever go wrong, the rules around how someone exits a company. And that, in the event of a conflict, gives the shareholders a good basis upon which they can split up. One walks away perhaps, the other stays with the company in a fair and reasonable way. Because without a shareholders agreement, really, if the shareholders can't agree, the only thing you can do is seek dissolution of the company. And usually that's not the best scenario when you have a profitable company. It's definitely important to work with a lawyer towards drafting a shareholders agreement, because literally no 2 agreements are exactly alike. There are lots of different options in terms of the types of agreements that you can have and the types of scenarios that you want to deal with. For more information, definitely do reach out to a lawyer who's well versed in this area.